We're live. And apparently, Eric Weinbender was in here this morning. No kidding. No kidding. I've got some feelings about that. I'm going to be expressing them here in a bit. Let's look at the picks. Where is the picks? Not bad for regular season. 171 and 100 in my picks. Going to stall here for just a moment. See if Eric is going to run in here. But we definitely are going to talk about Brian Flores. Or I'm going to talk about him. Hopefully somebody will watch this later. Go ahead and share the screen. Bam. Let's look at last week's games. Aretha, quit now. Hello. Don't scratch on that. Thank you. Okay, so let's look at these. Ooh, last week was kind of ugly. Lots of upsets. Of course, Kansas City beat Denver. That was a little closer than what I would have thought. Dallas whooped Philly. Cleveland upset Cincinnati. Cincinnati's got to get their stuff together. Man, they either show up or they don't. They got to get this cleaned up. That's ugly, but let's be honest. Green Bay didn't really need that game. So that, and from what I saw, I didn't see the whole game, but from what I saw, it looked like Detroit was pulling out all the stops. Minnesota beat Chicago. Washington beat New York. Did not see that coming. Did not see Jacksonville upsetting the Indianapolis Colts like that. And boy, that's a hard loss to take. I mean, and I can kind of relate. I mean, Miami came out and laid down for Tennessee 2 weeks ago, and that's what killed our playoff hopes. And boy, but you would think you get the worst team in the league in a must-win game, you got to beat them. So the Colts really don't deserve to be there, I guess. Pittsburgh knocked off Baltimore. That's okay. Their season ends this week. Tennessee over Houston. That would have been something to see if Houston had knocked them off. New Orleans over Atlanta. Did not expect New Orleans to be able to put up those kind of numbers. All right, Buffalo over New York Jets. San Francisco, they got the Rams. Rams going to have to clean this up. Miami did exactly what I was hoping they would do. It's come out. If you're not going to go to playoffs, at least punch the Patriots in the mouth on the way out the door, and that's exactly what they did. Swept the Patriots, and that was a pretty good feeling until Monday morning. It was a great feeling until Monday morning. Then we got Seattle beating Arizona. Arizona, I can't figure them out. They can't be losing these kind of games if they want to be taken as a serious playoff contender. Tampa Bay took care of business. Had no doubt that would happen. But then Las Vegas up. Well, that was such a classic. That was such a classic. And yes, I'm telling you, it really cemented in my mind that Herbert is the real deal. That kid looked like he had ice water in his veins. What an absolute classic football game. You know, just that one mess up. Just that one mess up calling that timeout. Wow. All right, so let's move into the playoffs. Before we do, I all right, let me go ahead and talk about Brian Flores. I'm telling you, I'm definitely feeling a certain way about it. It is an especially hard thing to take as a Dolphins fan, I guess. Where do you start? First, all right, let's start just unpacking some of the stuff that we have found out. All right, so or that's at least being reported. And my feeling is that this was such a colossal screw up by the Dolphins. And here's why. All right, number one, of course, whenever they let somebody go, they're going to start with a narrative about that guy and justifying why they let him go. Now, I don't know. Is it just that Greer has Stephen Ross's ear? Are they buddies? Have they been together so long that Greer can politic his way through this? But one thing that came out was that I learned from one of the talking heads on TV was that Stephen Ross is never in the building. That he does his business out in New York and flies in for the games. This guy is a joke as a owner. Terrible owner. Worst owner ever. Doesn't know what's going on. Hadn't got a clue about what we need. What we needed was Brian Flores as our coach. I don't want to overemphasize the greatness of Flores because he's still a young coach coming up, but there was nothing about Flores that alarmed me to think that. Well, there were a few things that alarmed me this season, but for the most part, he has proven to be a motivator of men. and that he can take good players and make them better, greater than the sum of their parts. All right. And what's Stephen Ross doing firing? Let's put this into some perspective. Stephen Ross has had 3 winning seasons as a Dolphins owner. Brian Flores gave him 2 of those seasons. The last 2 seasons. But he got fired. I tell you, and let me say this, Marcellus Wiley and any of these other idiots that keep putting up his entire record saying 24 and 25, he's a loser. Those people need to be slapped. They need to be slapped. Somebody needs to slap some sense into them. You cannot hang all of those losses on Brian Flores when Greer was trading away all of the talent in that first year. Let's not forget. But if you want to bring up the first year, let's bring up the first year. In the first year, they traded away all the talent. They traded Laramie Tunzel to the Texans, got all those picks. They traded Minkah Fitzpatrick to the Steelers, cut people, traded them. This was supposed to, going into the season, everybody saying this is a historically bad team. They were terrible. They got blown out their first 4 or 5 games, just getting smeared. But by the end of the season, that team had won 5 of its last 9 games, including a pivotal game, the last game where Brady and Belichick came into Miami and the Dolphins handed them a loss, put them on the road for the playoffs. Flores has beaten Belichick 4 out of 6 times in the 3 years he coached. Who does that? Flores did. And he's our coach. And he was our coach. His real record, the one that I look at, is the last 2 years, because at that point they've quit jettisoning all the talent on the roster. Last 2 years when he's had started to bring in his own talent, or at least they're starting to acquire talent, whether it's his or not, that's another story. But he's taken those teams and went 19-14 and just missed the playoffs both times. Now, for sure, there's some bumps in the road. You can't go 1-7. You really can't expect to make the playoffs. But he nearly did. He nearly got that team together, and that shows that they didn't quit on him. They played. They played hard for Brian Flores. So 19-14. Two winning seasons back to back. We hadn't done that in a long time. And then we fired our coach. Two winning seasons in a row, and we fire our coach. And we expect to find success. Meanwhile, the GM, Greer, is still working. He still has a job. He's probably scouring eBay right now for copies of Scouting Offensive Linemen for Dummies. Because let's face it, this guy wouldn't know a good offensive player if Lane Johnson sat on him. Oh, sure. I'll give him this year. He hit on 3. I mean, you can't argue with Waddle, Phillips, and Holland. But then there's also Igbenogany. And this guy has a job. And we fired the coach. The coach that led us to 2 consecutive winning records. And let's not forget Tua Tagovailoa. Won't get too deep in that. One thing's clear. It appears that Flores wanted Herbert over Tua, and he wasn't wrong. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Tua. I think he's a high character guy. I think he has potential. I don't think we really know how high the ceiling is for him yet. I think he's still developing. Hopefully there's a high ceiling for him. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it'll turn out that he'll be a failed project. Don't know. I'm rooting for the kid. Like him. There's no question at this point, though, that Herbert is the better quarterback. Not after, 5 of 5 or 6 of 6 on fourth downs in that classic Sunday night. So Flores was right about Herbert. And for everybody that's piling on Flores saying, oh, he's a loser, he's 24 and 25, he's a loser. How much better would the Dolphins be with Herbert? If we had taken Herbert instead, would we have made the playoffs? Now, someone says you expect they're roughly, the Chargers and Dolphins are roughly around the same area with their records. And you're going to put Herbert on a team with less talent and expect that he would, I think he's an upgrade. And I think he would get us at least one more win than Tua would at the present moment. And I'm not trying to hate on Tua. I really think that he could end up being a really good quarterback. His development is not there yet. And we don't know if it will get there. Hopefully it will. I'm not real sold on this RPO style of offense either. It seems to me, he looks very much, and I don't buy all this stuff about him being too small to be a quarterback. To me, he looked very physically, reminds me of Drew Brees. I would like to see us employ more of a New Orleans style offense, which what I understand is, and I'm not a football guy, or I never played the game, but what I understand about Sean Payton's offense is that it's basically a West Coast offense, but he's got his own stuff in there, and they attack more than a West Coast offense. They attack vertically and more aggressively that way. And I would like to see Tua in that style of an offense and try to get the ball downfield a little farther. Having said all that, so what, and that's where this gets messy. So from what I understand, Flores is the is not the Tua guy. From what I understand, it's Greer. And then where is our owner on that? Where is Ross? Is he a Tua guy? There were times where it sounded like Ross was the one that wanted Deshaun Watson. Now it's coming out. It sounds like Flores wanted Deshaun Watson. I've not been crazy about that idea because I don't know what good. Well, up until recently, my thought was, well, what good is Watson going to do us from jail or prison? Now, from what I've read, Watson is liable to get hit with a misdemeanor. Probably won't do prison time. Don't know that for sure. Won't know that until his court date this month. But I would think that somewhere in February we would know what's going on with Deshaun Watson. Do we really want to bring him in? I mean, the talent's not a question. Character is. I have mixed feelings about that. Of course, now they're saying that Watson may not want to come because Flores is not here. Now what do we do? We're messing with Tua's head. We don't have a good offensive line to protect them. Our wide receiver core is a little lacking in people that can actually stay healthy. I mean, it would probably be a good core if Fuller and Devontae Parker could stay on the field. They can't do that. Fuller, I think, played one game for us so far. He needs to be cut. Devontae Parker, he's harder on my heartstrings just because he's a Louisville guy. He's got great talent when he's on the field. You love him, but he can't stay on the field. Whereas Ross left us. Well, not in a good position. You have to think that any coach that takes this job has got to really want it. Because apparently if you go 19-14 in consecutive years, you still get fired. So why would you want to come to that? So who is going to come to us? Somebody who maybe a first-time coach that is just wanting to get that job? Or a really secure, successful veteran coach that feels like his reputation and everything will be greater than anything the Dolphins can do to him? But if I'm, a lot of coaches only get 2 shots to have success in the NFL. And so would you want to, if you've already had one job, would you want to make the Dolphins your second job and get fired off of that? Because apparently there's no job security. 2 consecutive winning seasons, and you're still going out the door. And I get it. Nobody wants to take forever. But some teams have given coaches a while to get there. believe it or not, it took Cowher 12 years to get to win a Super Bowl with the Steelers. And he got there earlier than that. He had success. That's probably what bought him time, but it did take him 12 years to win one. I don't want that because I'll be a very old man by the time we win one, if that's the case. But you can't just say because we kind of took a step back this year, little one, overall, that that happens. It's not going to be a straight trajectory straight to the Super Bowl. Oh, by the way, I just remembered that flag. I didn't mess that up. That's distress. You fly your flag upside down when the ship's in distress. We're definitely in some distress because Ross is an idiot. Greer is a politician, apparently, because how is he still here? And Flores is gone. Let's pick some football games. So I haven't even really thought a whole lot about these games just because I've been so caught up in the Flores drama. We've got the Las Vegas Raiders going to the Cincinnati Bengals. This could be a good game. High-powered offense with the Bengals. You got a good defense with Las Vegas. I really like that Max Crosby. Now, who's going to win that? This is a tough one. This is a super tough one because both of these teams have been inconsistent. Cincinnati will play lights out sometimes, then they'll stink up the joint. Vegas has been kind of all over the place. Of course, they've been through the ringer with all the off-the-field drama, including the fact that, this was Gruden's team until he got fired. I think I'm going to go with the Bengals. Then we got New England at Buffalo. New England's always solid, but I think we showed them that they can be beat. Mac Jones is not – I could be wrong, but I just don't feel he's everything that everybody makes him out to be. I'm not a believer. Buffalo seems to be getting their stuff together. I'm going to go with Buffalo. We got Philadelphia, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Philadelphia Eagles at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is the one that I'm looking at that could really be the blowout. Tampa Bay solid. Not as solid as they were last year, but they're still awfully good. I think in Philadelphia, man, hard to know what's up with them. So let's look over here. I know the confidence points are a little spread out. I think with this is where we're putting the 16. Then we've got San Francisco at Dallas. Wow, this could be a Vinyl Richie in the house. Let's see what The Dolphin coach is not perfect, but he's done a better job than the GM. I totally agree. Except for hitting on our picks early in this draft, Greer has done a very underwhelming job, including the fact that our offensive line continues to be a problem, a big problem. And yeah, I just think, it's just so depressing to watch the Dolphins take this step and stick with Greer. Now, I don't know how true this is, but I heard there was a conversation between Flores, Greer, and the owner Ross. And Flores, the coach, told them, said, there's one consistent over the however many years of losing here, and it's you two. I don't know if Flores actually said that or not. If he did, he wasn't wrong. Ross is terrible as an owner, and Greer is a joke. He's an absolute joke. And we just got rid of one of the few coaches that was actually had us improving. And if they had given him Herbert like he had wanted, we would be even that much farther ahead. So if it's Greer that's the Tua guy, and like I said, I'm not trying to hate on Tua, but he is more of a long-term project. It's clear that Herbert's better. Flores was right about that. I'm sorry. I'm going off on a tangent again. It's just tough. It's a tough. I just thought we were getting somewhere. So let's look at San Francisco at Dallas. I hate to say it, but I think Dallas wins this game. I think they are improved. I hate Dallas. I don't want to pick them. But I think they win this game. Kansas City or Pittsburgh Steelers at Kansas City Chiefs. Absolutely Kansas City. Bye-bye, Big Ben. You can take off and don't let the door hit you on the way out. And then finally, the Arizona Cardinals at Los Angeles Rams. And this one's tough because neither one of these teams have been consistent. I think the Rams are the probably just the more trendy, popular pick. I think Arizona gets the upset. Now, lay some confidence points. Now, I'm not going to put much on that. I'll put the 6 there. That gets the 6. The Kansas City game gets the 14 because we laid the 16 on the Tampa Bay. I think Dallas gets the 12. Buffalo gets the 10, and then Cincinnati gets the 8. Because this could go either way. Scores. Kansas City always scores so much. And I don't think it's going to be any different on Pittsburgh. This slide will be a little closer game. Score the most this week, I think. I think Kansas City could get away from the Steelers. We'll put Kansas City there, and then fewest points this week. Maybe Philadelphia. And there we go. There's our picks. Kind of quick this week with only 6 games. All right. Well, nobody appears to be in here. At least gets a video record of what I picked. If you do watch this back, how about hit me with a like? Maybe we can generate some views on this thing. But that's okay. I do it for fun. Yeah, but if you watched it, thanks. And we will be back next week, next Tuesday, 9 o'clock. And until then, peace.